Hey guys, I just wanted to do a real quick tutorial for you on how to make your own homemade almond milk. Let's go over the things that you're going to need first of all. I like to use a big 8-cup Pyrex measuring cup, but if you don't have one of these, a bowl's fine. You need a 2-cup measuring cup or something similar, a high-speed blender. I use a nut bag, which makes squeezing the milk out of the pulp very easily, but if you have cheesecloth, you could easily just pull up the 4 corners and use that as well. So obviously you're going to need your almonds and you're going to need some water. So let's talk about these almonds for a minute. When you're making your own milk, it's probably better if you do a little bit of sprouting first before you do some blending. So these almonds in this jar on the left have been sitting in water for 24 hours. Okay, and if you take a close look, both of them have a cup of almonds in it, but you can see that these are much bigger because they're sprouted and they have, excess fluid in them. One of the reasons people are starting to do a lot with sprouted grains, sprouted nuts, sprouted beans and legumes and things like that is because it helps digestion and it makes the nutrients and the minerals in whatever you're eating more bioavailable to the body. This is a pretty common technique used among raw foodists. That's not why I do it. I do it mostly for the nutrition and digestibility purposes. So before we go any further, what I'm going to need to do is strain the water. You do not want to use the same water that it's been sitting in for 24 hours. We're going to get fresh water. So I'm going to strain that and use these almonds. I'm not going to use these almonds. You only need 1 cup almonds to 3 cups water. I just have these here so you could see the difference between sprouted versus non-sprouted almonds. So I'm just going to set these off to the back. I'm going to go ahead and drain the water from these. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I already have 2 cups of water in with the 1 cup of almonds. I'm going to go ahead and pour the last cup in now. And that's all you need, just 3 cups water, 1 cup almonds, sprouted almonds. And I'm just going to go ahead and blend this for about anywhere between a minute or a minute and a half to 2 minutes, depending on your blender. This one usually does it in about a minute or so. Okay, here we go. Okay guys, so check it out. Look how delicious that looks. Nice and foamy. Very tasty. So the next thing we have to do is go ahead and strain it through the nut bag to remove the pulp so that we're just left with the milk. So it's quite easy. Okay, I do about half at a time or so. Then you just squeeze the milk out. You're left with the pulp behind in the bag. Okay, so here is the finished product, and I'm just going to go ahead and pour this into my mason jar. It's so tasty. You have to try this. It's so flavorful. It tastes so much different than the stuff that you buy in the store. The stuff in the store tastes stale to me now because of making my own. I realize how yummy it can be. And then the other cool thing too is you're avoiding like the lecithins and the gums and the added sugars and natural flavors that they're also throwing in there as well that you really don't need. But this is straight up almonds water. I keep it in the fridge for a few days, but it usually only lasts a day or 2 because I drink it, put it in recipes and so forth. So I really hope you try it. As a side note, I used to go ahead and throw the pulp out, but now I dry it on a baking sheet with parchment paper And I'll let this sit here for about, I don't know, a day or two until it dries completely out. This one time I covered it with a paper towel thinking that I was doing it a favor, and it ended up growing mold. So keep it nice and aired out, and come by and kind of run your fingers through it to keep crumbling it down. It doesn't get as fine as the almond meal as you buy in the store. So one thing you can do is just put this, like I put it in my food processor. I have a small food processor that gets this pretty fine, and then I can just throw it in my muffins or anything I'm baking as you know, if it calls for almond meal. So there you have it. I hope you try it. I think you're going to find that it's absolutely delicious. If you give it a try and love it, let me know.